Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And your Lord of, your Lord of Pennies. Say hi, Satsu.
Hi, Satsu.
Sorry about that. My throat is still screwed up. I am your Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey. Hi, everybody. Real quick, thank you, Point Curation, who says funds towards a heaping plate of spaghetti. I appreciate that. Jesus Christ. I'm going to keep having to mute myself every so often. My voice has been like this for the last 2 nights.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. How you doing tonight, Scribe?
I am doing well. I am full of cheeseburger. So that's good.
Very nice.
And yeah, that's the exciting news I have of myself right now. Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger's good. Satsu, how you doing, man? Satsu?
I'm good. Squishy, me and Squishy watched a movie. Can you hear me?
I can now, yeah.
Okay, yeah, me and Squishy watched a movie, and it was a long movie, but it was really, really, really good. So I'm feeling good.
Alrighty.
Satsu's bar for feeling good is very, very low.
Seems that way. He just needs a good movie in him.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're miserable.
That's a good place to be.
Well, thanks. That de-escalated quickly. Okay.
I've had an okay day. I slept a little bit. Didn't sleep a lot. Got to have a nice dinner as well. And now I'm here with you wonderful peoples. Do we have anything we need to like chill out and plug and stuff before we do the intro and then the show?
The global benefits of cauliflower.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Monkey Dick, Jim Jones movies, video games. Hit that like button and share our stuff, guys, far and wide. Not just us, any creator you support. Like their stuff and share it because that does more for them than YouTube ever will. Because YouTube only likes to promote like CBS shows now.
I took when I was working on video stuff today, there was this thing at the top of my little control panel that said, "Would you like to take a survey?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And they asked these questions like, "Is YouTube the best place for creators to earn a living?" And I was like, it depends. And I said, "Not really, because it depends what kind of creators are you talking about? What kind of creators will you allow to make a living today?" The uncertainty from day to day, what may or may not be monetized, or what may or may not get your channel deleted or closed down. And I gave them a little piece of my mind in places about it. I was like, well, is this the best place for creators? Like, well, you kind of have a monopoly. So I guess, but
it is, but you have to play within their certain guidelines and their guidelines
change day by day. And
they do change day by fucking day.
Yeah. So I at length in the places where it made sense, I put my thoughts into that. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
Shroom says we moved back in on Saturday. You guys getting back into your house after Hurricane Michael? Is that what we're talking about here? Are you? Oh, wow. If that's what that is, that's been a long time. Whew. But yeah, so Scribbles, do we have some news today? I know we had news today because there's lots of fun in the news today.
Why did you ask me the question?
Well, because I didn't know what you pulled up.
How have I ever failed to pull up anything for this show?
Okay, you want me to have a new introduction for the
No,
news?
no, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Scribe, tell us the damn news. Is that
better? if only every local news show was like that.
Right.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
It's like, Harry, you fuck, tell us the weather.
Tell us the fucking weather, Harry.
It's like, and what the shit is going on in sports, Joe? Oh, I don't know. All right.
Oh, real quick.
Great.
Shroom does say, yeah, they're just getting back into the house. Well, I'm glad you're getting back in. And god damn, man, I'm sorry it took that long. That's been months, man.
All right. So anyway, let's talk about Michael Avenatti.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed that little montage of Avenatti hype that you retweeted today.
That was beautiful. That's the news of Avenatti is actually what I woke up to, and it just started my day right.
Yeah, it was. I was just when I saw that montage. I mean, I remembered seeing Avenatti. I didn't quite realize he'd been a guest host on The View.
Oh yes, he was everywhere.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I wasn't aware of the extent of his coverage at the time. But that little montage really underscored it. But anyway,
He was the golden boy, man.
oh man, Michael Avenatti charged with stealing $300,000 from former client Stormy Daniels. And if I'm not mistaken, this is just one of several lawsuits against him right now.
Yeah, this is the third known.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is part of another one, but yeah, there's at least 3 sets of charges he's been facing now.
A federal grand jury in Manhattan indicted celebrity attorney Michael Avenatti on Wednesday in 2 alleged schemes, charging him with fraud and aggravated identity theft involving his former client, Stormy Daniels, and with attempting to extort more than $20 million from sportswear giant Nike. Prosecutors charged Avenatti, 48, with stealing about $300,000 of Daniels' advance for her book contract, according to court papers, and using that money to pay employees of his law firm and a coffee business he owned. Daniels isn't named in the indictment, but she is the individual referred to as Victim 1, according to a person familiar with the matter.
Real quick, thank you, Terry Diamanis, who says he's not the Messiah, he's an Avenatti boy.
Wah, wah. To date, according to the indictment, Avenatti has failed to repay Daniels about half of the sum he allegedly stole from her. With Wednesday's charges, Avenatti has faced federal indictment 3 times over the course of about 6 weeks. Avenatti rose to fame during his representation of Daniels, the adult film actress who was a central figure in the hush money scandal that resulted in Manhattan federal prosecutors charging Michael Cohen, President Donald Trump's former personal attorney, with campaign finance violations for money he paid to silence women, including Daniels, who claimed affairs with Trump. Hell, 1 fucking sentence. Son of a bitch.
Periods are a thing.
Cohen, who pleaded guilty to those and other crimes, is serving a 3-year prison sentence. Period. Wow, you could do it there, couldn't you? Trump has denied.
That wasn't part of the other sentence.
Oh God, Trump has denied the alleged affairs. Daniels, whose legal name is Stephanie Clifford, has since ended her professional relationship with Avenatti, saying that he, quote, had dealt with me extremely dishonestly, unquote. CNN has reached out to Daniels for comment on the charges against her former attorney.
Hey, I reached out to her too. Why didn't they put me in there?
Well, you have to tell them that.
Oh, I'll write them.
Did you actually like tweet her or something? Say, hey, I want to come on the show?
I did. I asked her if I said that Michael said that you said this was okay. Can you confirm or deny that?
Oh, okay.
She hasn't responded, unfortunately.
Avenatti told CNN he will be, quote, fully exonerated. Quote, I look forward to a jury hearing all of the evidence and passing judgment on my conduct. At no time was any money misappropriated or mishandled. I will be fully exonerated once the relevant emails, contracts, text messages, and documents are presented, he said. In the case involving Daniels, prosecutors allege that Avenatti, who helped negotiate the $800,000 advance for Full Disclosure, which was published in September 2018, defrauded Daniels by instructing her literary agent to send 2 of the installments of the advance to an account controlled by him rather than directly to Daniels. When her agent told Avenatti that she couldn't do so without Daniels' authorization, Avenatti sent the agent a letter with a forgery of Daniels' signature, according to the indictment. Avenatti then lied to Daniels, telling her the publisher hadn't made the payments, when in reality he used the money to cover payroll costs for his law firm, Egan Avenatti LLP, a $3,900 lease payment on a Ferrari, and expenses including dry cleaning, airfare, hotels, and car services. This goes on.
This shitbag.
Yeah, and then there's also him trying to extort money out of Nike, telling him that he'd basically shoot down their stock price with bad press if they didn't give him a bunch of money.
Yeah, this is the hero of the
$4,000 lease.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming that's a monthly $4,000 a month for a fucking Ferrari. But here's the other thing too that's not in this story. You know what's not in this story?
No.
Who helped Avenatti rise to such heights?
Well,
I mean, CNN. You're not quite giving full disclosure. I mean, you say Avenatti rose to fame during his representation of Daniels, and then you go talking about Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen, but you don't mention any more about how Avenatti actually got all that attention, do you, CNN?
but they don't want to talk about that because it looks bad.
Ain't it interesting how they can connect Trump to literally anything, no matter what it is, but for some reason, he doesn't have a connection in this story.
Anyway,
Hilarious.
so that's the story as it is. So there you go. This will go on for several months, and we'll see how he fares. He might take a plea deal or something. Who knows?
Well, he's vowing to fight all of this and swearing he has receipts, y'all. I showed him receipts.
Yeah, unfortunately, Judge Wapner's not trying the case. So
right. It's not. I've been waiting for this because she had made this claim publicly.
Yeah.
Back when her and him, we had all the stories that they broke up. They broke up, and he had her write a letter or had her sign a letter. Oh, I forget exactly how the joint statement thing came about, but saying, no, he'd explained to her what had happened to that money. He explained it away.
Yeah,
and,
I remember that.
Yeah. So ever since the indictment came down for the Nike thing, I'm like, ooh, I'm really waiting for Stormy stuff to come out. Real quick, Dark Shade, thank you. Fleeking white tags. That's right. Fleeking. Not much else to say except for I'm enjoying this so much. People have been pulling out different tweets and stuff from like Brian Stelter. His Twitter account is being rated all day as people are bringing up him talking about how great Avenatti is just a year ago.
Oh, Stelter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about some Trump news? Because, it's a day that ends in Y.
Sure.
Trump blow-up leaves lawmakers worried about disaster aid and budget talks. President Donald Trump's angry threats Wednesday to not work with congressional Democrats until they stopped investigating him came at a sensitive time for talks over several important issues that bipartisan negotiators on Capitol Hill and the White House had hoped to wrap up before Congress leaves as early as Thursday for the Memorial Day recess. The sudden flare-up, in the words of one GOP leader, left an air of uncertainty over the talks that all sides had reported upbeat progress on in recent days. It also wasn't clear to lawmakers whether Trump's threats related only to the infrastructure spending proposal, that was the subject of the meeting with Democrats that Trump stormed out of, or if it meant all legislation. Quote, seems like we have a little bit of an issue right now, said Senator John Thune of South Dakota, the second-ranking GOP leader. Quote, it's hard to figure out how much gets done around here unless the atmospherics change, unquote. White House and congressional negotiators have been working for weeks to resolve differences over a overdue multi-billion-dollar disaster aid package that they appeared to be on the cusp of completing before the dispute. That measure is likely to include billions for the migrant crisis on the southern border, a thorny issue for the parties. Negotiators are also making steady progress on a broad budget package that could put off the threat of a government shutdown or debt default until after the next election. The top four congressional leaders huddled for hours Tuesday with top White House officials, but came up short on a deal. Lawmakers said they didn't know when those talks might restart, perhaps this week or maybe after next week's recess once tempers cool. So Trump not getting along with Democrats and film at 11.
He also, he's specific. I'm not working with you. It's funny, depending on where you read this, how it's stated.
Mm-hmm.
Because depending on which one you read, Trump called this meeting, and then he stormed out. And if you read what actually happened, he didn't storm. He walked in there and laid down the law, but his law. Not saying that he's right, but this is how shit's gonna be. And then he turned around and walked out. And especially if you hear it from CNN, it's like he stormed out. That doesn't sound like what happened. But yeah, it's interesting to see what's going to happen here.
Well, I don't like. Do they think that they can give him a hard time, and he just like, okay, I realize y'all are giving me a fucking hard time and relentlessly attacking me, but I'm just gonna lay over and let you do it. I'm gonna bend over and let you proceed. Like, you're about to do that. So,
well, we have this problem going on. Fight. We have this problem going on in the press over this kind of stuff too, because the press has taken a understandably keen interest in this stuff, and Trump, he does have to like answer subpoenas and stuff so far, but there, you know, a lot of this stuff that he's upset with him about, this comes right after the there was a ruling in I think it was New York today. Yeah, it was New York today and DC 2 days ago. This says that Deutsche Bank and what was the other one?
Capital One.
Yeah, I do have to give over documents to Congress, and I think this was a reaction to that. And Trump's like, yeah, I'm not fucking with you guys anymore. Yeah, you want shit done? Get shit done. But not a good look, Mr. President. You still got to do the job. Sorry, Lady Gopher, thank you so much. Lurking Gopher got me to like you guys. Also, thank you for the birthday song for Patricia yesterday. She loved the Dying Duck Kazoo song. I'm glad she liked it.
I was going to say, like, I'm no fan of government gridlock by any way, shape, or form. But at the same time, though I'm also not a fan of Trump's bedside manner, but regardless of who's in the seat, I don't see how you could negotiate in good faith with anybody when they're all pressing for either your impeachment or your private life, whether it's relevant to investigations or not, etc. So I'm not quite sure I'm not sure what they expected elsewise, or why this should be shocking at all. It's not shocking to me on a governmental level, because usually these guys can't get along, but especially in this instance where, you know, the center of all of your ire that you're pointing right at him presently has to somehow negotiate with you when he already doesn't trust you, and he has every reason not to. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what they expected to happen.
Well, these negotiations should be and here's the important part, in good faith.
Yeah,
and they're really not.
Yeah.
But that's politics, man. I mean, it really
I
is.
know. Okay, well, let's get a horrible story out of the way. Kind of. I mean, it's horrible to me. I don't know. And then we'll get on to something hopefully more entertaining. This is just an odd one. A healthy dog was euthanized so it could be buried with its owner.
What?
Yeah, this is... I haven't read the story. The headline allowed me to go, what? Okay, so Emma, a healthy Shih Tzu mix, was euthanized to fulfill her late owner's dying wish that the dog be put down and then laid to rest with her.
No.
The dog arrived at the Chesterfield County Animal Shelter in Chesterfield, Virginia on March 8th after her owner's death, where she stayed for 2 weeks. During that time, the shelter was in contact with the executor of the dead woman's estate, trying to keep the dog alive. Quote, "We did suggest they could sign the dog over on numerous occasions because it's a dog we could easily find a home for and rehome," said Carrie Jones, manager of Chesterfield Animal Services. On March 22nd, the executor of the owner's estate came to the shelter to get the dog, a spokeswoman for the Chesterfield County Police told CNN. The shelter again offered to have the dog signed over and be adopted out, but the executor declined. Emma was then taken to a local veterinarian, euthanized, and taken to a pet cremation center in Richmond, Virginia. Her ashes were placed in an urn and returned to the representative of the woman's estate. Cemeteries in the U.S. are generally regulated by state law, so where you live determines whether it's legal to be buried with your pet. In 2014, Virginia enacted a law that made that legal. It allows a cemetery company to have a section devoted to humans' remains and the pets of the deceased humans. However, cemeteries must set aside a clearly marked part of the property to create sections where pets and humans are buried together, and no pet may be buried in the same grave, crypt, or niche as a human. This is so bizarre.
I feel like that's entirely beside the point.
It is. It's beside the point because I find both aspects of the story bizarre. First off, that the old lady would say, "Kill my dog and bury it with me." And secondly, that there's all these weird Byzantine laws about whether or not a dog or animal can be buried alongside or with a human.
I'm not a dog person, but
That's-
no, this is wrong.
That's pretty fucked.
Okay, let's
Oh,
see.
my God.
Let me find the next part of this. In Virginia, licensed veterinarians, certified euthanasia technicians, animal control officers, and human investigators are all allowed to perform euthanasia, according to the American Veterinary Medical Association. But finding a veterinarian who would put down a healthy pet could be challenging, obviously not too tough in this instance. While it's not a legal issue, pets are considered personal property, it's certainly a moral one. Dr. Kenny Lucas with the Shady Grove Animal Clinic said he wouldn't do it. Quote, whenever we're faced with a euthanasia situation, it's a very emotional situation, and beyond everything we talk about, that we need to do this ethically, that we've taken an oath to do. It's also something we take home too. It weighs on us as professionals. Yeah, A, crazy lady wanted healthy dog killed. B, somebody agreed to kill a healthy dog on this request. Also, weird laws about being buried with a pet.
The being buried with your pet, if your pet died with you, cool. I don't care if they stick you in the same goddamn box. What is it going to fuck up the ground? No. That part doesn't bother me at all. Bury him with your pet. Do not kill your pet so it can be buried with you.
Yeah, I mean, if your dog died and you cremated your dog and you kept your dog in an urn on the shelf for the next 5 years, and then you pass away and in your will you say, hey, I want to be buried with the remains of my dog, great, fine, whatever. But if your dog's still alive and fine, adopt the dog out. Let the dog live the rest of its life. This is insane. What a lousy lady that was.
See, old ladies suck. Diesel Dave, yes, exactly. Thank you so much. Says, I get it. I get if they died together, but this, no.
Yeah.
Well, just imagine from the, like, if dogs could understand things like people say they can, where he's just like, oh no, my owner's gone. This sucks. Wait, what? That bitch told you to do what?
Right.
No. What the fuck?
Get that needle away from me. Fuck that bitch. I would have ate her if I knew this was going to
chew that bitch up in hell.
That is so fucked up. Like I said, not even a dog person, but what the fuck?
Yeah, I thought I'd round out tonight's news with analysis from our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Eliza.
I'm going to have to ask you to stop calling him that.
Well, it's said ironically.
Okay.
Did you not pick up on that over the course of the last 2 years?
I have, but I for like, if there's any new people viewing, they're like, wait, who? Who's their favorite friend?
Well, I was hoping that the inflection of my voice, I would hope.
Scribe, they're going to think we're retarded.
What do you mean we, white man?
You're the one who said it.
You're the one that doesn't get the joke.
No, I get the joke. Like I said, this is for...
No. Okay, let me
what about the new people?
Let me rephrase. You're the one telling the audience they're too dumb to get the joke.
And I'm telling you that the audience
maybe
knew and not understand the joke.
No. Okay. Well, now you can clip this and show it to everybody so they get the joke from now on. Or are we going to have to do this every time I bring up the fucking guy? Is this what it's going to be? Okay. All right. Okay. Chris, you motherfucker, let's get to the analysis. Oh, sorry.
There we go.
5 reasons why Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to impeach Donald Trump. Okay, before we begin, let's take our own. Let's have some guesses. Monkey, just one guess. What would be one reason, Monkey, that Nancy Pelosi wouldn't want to impeach Donald Trump right now?
It's a bad look going into 2020.
That's a bit too general. What do you mean?
It's going to hurt Democrats politically in 2020.
Okay, Satsu.
It'll make the focus about Trump during the debates and all that stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, it's kind of a combination of the two. It's sort of like it elevates Trump's importance to the news cycles outside the realm of whatever messages the Democratic Party might have, and it'll last into the election, into the primaries.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be the subject of conversation for every question that comes the way of any candidates. All right, Let's see what Chris has to say. House Democrats huddled Wednesday as Speaker Nancy Pelosi sought to beat back a growing revolt over her oft-stated resistance to the idea of impeaching President Donald Trump. The meeting came after days of increased public willingness by high-ranking Democratic leaders to suggest that impeachment is the right move and now a question of when, not if. Quote, a growing majority of our caucus believes that impeachment is going to be inevitable, Kentucky Representative John Yarmouth, the chairman of the House Budget Committee, told CNN. Amid that rising furor, not furor, but furor, Pelosi continues to stick by her original assertion that impeachment is not the right move for her party, at least not right now. So why does Pelosi believe so strongly that impeachment is a mistake, even in the face of steady resistance from the White House to any and all requests made by House Democrats as they investigate the administration? Here are 5 possible reasons.
Before you get into those, Terry, thank you. Chris is my favorite analyst at CNN. Without him, Lords of the Night would only be half as long.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Scribe. Go ahead.
All right. Number 1, the public doesn't really want it.
Nope.
A May CNN SSRS poll, I'm assuming, showed that just 37% of Americans want Trump impeached, while 59% disagreed with such a course of action. That same poll showed that 44% say Democrats are going too far in investigating the president, an increase from 38% saying so in March. 1 in 4 voters said Democrats in Congress were doing too little to investigate Trump, while 28% said they were doing about the right amount. Number 2, he'll never be impeached anyway. It takes 2 to tango on impeachment, and while the Democratic majority in the House could probably impeach Trump tomorrow, the 53 Republican senators who control the majority in the upper chamber have shown no signs of cracking in their support for Trump. If anything, Trump's support among that cadre has grown stronger in recent weeks, following the release of special counsel Robert Mueller's report that concluded it, quote, did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in the election interference activities, unquote, and did not offer a recommendation on whether Trump obstructed justice in the probe. Pelosi knows that, barring some cataclysmic development, the Senate isn't going to convict Trump on the articles of impeachment, which makes the House impeaching Trump purely a symbolic move with no actual teeth. Number 3, it turns Trump into a victim.
Yep.
More so than he already has been in some people's eyes. Trump, as has been demonstrated time and time again, loves to play the victim. And you don't, Chris, or CNN, or the media, whenever Trump says a nasty thing about you. Okay. He's the target of a deep state conspiracy. He's unfavorably treated by the media. Well, Chris, he was the subject of a nearly 2-year-long witch hunt at the hands of Mueller. Well, kinda. Impeaching Trump in the House without a puncher's chance? I don't know that I know that phrase. Without a puncher's chance of the Senate doing the same, hands Trump the ability to say that Democrats hate him so much that they are unfairly targeting him and being derelict in their duties to the country. Trump is, in fact, already rolling out that argument. Quote, the Democrats are getting zero work done in Congress, Trump tweeted on Wednesday morning. All they are focused on is trying to prove the Mueller report wrong, the witch hunt, unquote. Number 4. Oh, sorry.
Well, what have they gotten done?
And of course, with most things, it takes 2 to tango there, which means that Republicans and Democrats actually have to work together, which, talk about a wedge. I'll zip through the next 2 just because we're at the bottom of the hour. Number 4, it even more badly divides the country. Yes. And number 5, people don't actually vote on it. Pelosi was adamant during the 2018 midterm campaign that Democratic candidates spend their time talking about health care, not Trump's latest tweets. Quote, healthcare was on the ballot and healthcare won, Pelosi said in the immediate aftermath of the election, which restored a Democratic majority in the House. We won because from the beginning, we focused on healthcare, unquote. That is the blueprint Pelosi wants all Democrats to follow in 2020. Poll after poll proves her right. Healthcare and immigration typically top the list of voters' beliefs about the most important issues facing the country. Impeachment is rarely mentioned. In a March CNN poll, a total of zero respondents said that the Mueller probe was the most important issue related to their 2020 vote. Zero. Despite her misgivings, Pelosi is also a politician and one of the best judges of the mood of her colleagues in modern political history. Is she? Is she really? Did she see where all these Ocasio-Cortez Green Deal people were coming from at the time?
I think if you're, well, one, again, as she was not wrong that Cortez, that her district could have been won by a glass of water. And that has been more a product of the press than what, Cortez still represents a small faction of the party. Pelosi's right here. And yes, she is. She's actually pretty astute. She's a good politician, whether you like what she says or does or not. She's a good politician. And she's not wrong. This is a losing issue for them. If they're smart, they will listen to her.
I say do it. I say do it.
Does that make us as good politicians as her? Because we've been saying this shit for at least 8 months now. Well, don't fucking do it. You do not want to die on this hill.
What makes her a good politician in this case is that she's going against her party right here. There's so many of them just chomping at the bit on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna impeach him, and like, why? What do you win here? And she's right. Focus on issues, because they'll lose on immigration. We can talk about that at fucketry time. Ooh, can't wait for that one. But when it comes to healthcare, they actually have the winning side on that. So that's what they should be. Yeah. That's what they should be doing.
She's an adult and she's a pragmatist, and she understands where this is going to go. She can see 3 steps ahead in making such a decision. And, for the sake of the Democrats, they're lucky to have her there to stop them from shooting themselves in the foot. If she doesn't cave.
The other, because she has given a couple of indications in the last couple of days that maybe she'll cave on this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I highly doubt it coming from her. But the other thing is, she knows that this is not about that the power in government. Well, yes, there's a power that comes from the presidency. Holding the House is far more important.
Yeah.
And they do not want to fuck around and give Trump the presidency and lose the House at the same time again. Because I think the next group of Republicans who come in there, if Trump gets another Republican Congress, full Congress, all of his shit's coming. The wall will be built this time, because the ones who are going to get elected be like, we're building this fucking wall. So she understands where the power's at right now, and it's in the House. That's just fact.
Fact.
That's where the purse strings are, my friend.
Anyway, that's all the news stories I had.
All right, guys. We went a little long there, but that's okay, because we were having fun. More fun comes from you. It's hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. If there's a story you think we should take a look at, we will do our best to look at them all. But if we can't get to them all, it's just because Chris Saliza's a dick.
Yes.
Scribe.
This one comes from Quinn Harrison. See, this kind of shit never happened in my high school that I was ever invited to. Sex room at North Carolina high school uncovered after live video stream shows students in sexual act.
Isn't that child porn?
Depends on what grade they were in, I guess. Durham, North Carolina. The Durham County Sheriff's Office is investigating after reports of students engaging in sexual activity on a high school campus. It includes reports of live streaming sexual acts unknown to some student victims. Uh-oh. According to a report, the assistant principal at Riverside High School informed officers. Good night, baby.
Sorry.
That's right. The assistant principal at Riverside High School informed officers he, quote, found students were conducting sexual acts in a classroom near the RPC classroom. RPC, I don't know what that is. The RPC is an acronym for Restorative Practice Center. Restorative.
What the fuck does that mean?
Somebody Google Restorative Practice Center and tell us what it is.
It sounds like a restorative justice practice.
That's what I thought. It's like this is where we go when we have a fight to shake hands and kiss and make up. literally or figuratively, apparently. Search warrants obtained by WNCN reveals on May 17th, 2 students got into an altercation after recording showed the 2 involved in a sex act. The Riverside School Resource Officer said the girl told them the boy showed a video of the sex act to classmates and told other students about the recording. The student also told the SRO the boy had previously attempted to record other intimate moments, but she refused. She also said the video was shown to students against her will. Oh, this guy's in deep shit now.
Yeah.
The SRO said 2 other students notified them that Instagram was used to stream the sexual encounter. The report reveals the live video gave all users access to the video. Oh boy. Investigators said another girl withdrew from the school after the same student showed classmates a video of him and the girl, quote, conducting sexual conduct on school property in a classroom, unquote. The Durham County Sheriff's Office said deputies have seized several cell phones as part of the investigation. Yeah, that kid and anybody else, he's in deep shit.
Yeah, his life is ruined. Good job, dude.
Yep. Good job.
I do not understand why people always open their mouth. Sorry about that. I choked on my fucking words there. I don't understand why people open their mouths about that shit. Like, why? Shut the fuck up.
Because it's
illegal.
Something to brag about.
Yeah.
Look how cool I am. I got to touch boobies.
Yeah, underage probably.
Now you get to touch man boobies.
Yeah.
All right.
If that girl's underage, good luck, man.
Yeah. Well, if he's underage too, I think I don't know what happens in North Carolina when you have 2 underage kids and they're doing stuff. So, but streaming underage people on the internet and taking pictures is probably still child porn. So, anyway, moving on. This one comes from Frosted Glass, and this is I'm assuming it's an opinion piece under the category of women. This is by someone, and I'm going to fuck up this name, I swear. Yomi Adagoki. Alexa, why does the brave new world of AI have all the sexism of the old one?
Oh.
You know, I did a video on this very subject. It was like send in the fembots or something. It was just a couple months ago. I have a feeling this is going to be that exact same thing. When women are overrepresented in the workforce, it tends to be in industries of assistance, cleaning, nursing, secretarial work, and now the world of virtual assistants. Yomi, a virtual assistant, does not have a gender. It's a thing.
Nah, man, it's a chick.
Well, so are actual women to them, so.
Oh. There is no real reason for AI technologies to be gendered at all. Yes, there is, Yomi. Market research. But we are at the mercy of tech companies, quote, staffed by overwhelmingly male engineering teams, unquote, fixated on living out a Captain Kirk fantasy and delegating to the subservient, silky-voiced computers of Star Trek.
Really?
I hate to tell you this, but the voice of the computer in the original Star Trek that Captain Kirk was involved in wasn't that sexy. It wasn't until Star Trek The Next Generation, and that was Majel Barrett, Gene Roddenberry's wife, doing the voice of that. But obviously you're not a fan of Star Trek, Yomi.
Well, how many... Okay. Real quick, thank you, Diesel Dave. Why make IA female easier to explain when it's illogical? Oh. How many of the guys working at tech companies right now grew up on the original Star Trek?
Probably a few, but there's there's always reruns.
I'm sure there's some, but
yeah. Now there's 2 ways you can look at that, of course, and I made this point in my video. It's like, well, either you could say that these AIs have female voices because men want to feel dominant over the subservient women, or men are elevating women's voices as soothing, welcoming, and those they trust to talk to or whatever.
It's just nicer to hear.
Yeah. I mean, there are options to get a male voice. I mean, they don't mention that half the time, but anyway, she goes, this is very... very
really
short.
hilarious. Oh,
Okay. Go ahead.
never mind.
Somebody go.
Never mind.
Satsu, go ahead.
Hello?
What I was about to say is what's really hilarious about this is the fact that if there was only a male option, then they would say men are using the fact that there is only a male option to say that men are the smartest. Men are the ones who will be able to provide you with all the information you need. Like the articles would be reading basically, we need a female voice for our AI system.
Yeah.
It's like that's basically what the narrative would be if it was only a male option. They'd be left out. They feel left out. That would be the issue.
Yeah, the male gender of AI show that men think that only men can solve problems. Something like that.
I mean, that's true. But...
Yeah, artificial intelligence. The intelligence specifically refers to men.
All right. So speaking of men and women, how about this one from Shady Grin? Asian accountant smashed ex-wife's head against a car after she began dating a white man.
Was it because of the white man?
I don't know. An Asian accountant smashed his ex-wife's head against a car and called her a bacon basher after she started dating a white man.
A bacon basher?
Saeed Ahmad, 51, grabbed Perveen Ahmad during an early morning argument after she emerged from her David Lloyd gym to find her Lexus car had been vandalized. An incensed Ahmad dented a gym member's car as he slammed his ex-wife's head against the bodywork during the attack. He was eventually pulled off of Mrs. Ahmad, 51, by her boyfriend, David Walwork, who then pinned her former husband to the ground as he thrashed about. Mrs. Ahmad had met Mr. Walwork at the lettings agency that she ran with her ex-husband in Greater Manchester. The couple had been married for 21 years and had 3 children together, but split acrimoniously in 2015, leading to a relationship with Mr. Walwork. Mrs. Ahmad told Stockport Magistrates Court how she left the gym on August 13th to find black graffiti had been sprayed all over her white car. The court heard that Mrs. Ahmad made a phone call to the police to report the crime. Her ex-husband then walked out and confronted her, calling her a black bitch. She said, quote, "He is constantly mocking me for my face as I have melasma." I don't know what that is. It's a skin condition, I'm assuming. "He put his phone to my face and he was saying all sorts of obscenities. He called me a bacon basher, and he has said it many times. It means that I'm going out with somebody who is white, and it wasn't the first time I had heard that." I have never heard that phrase before.
Chad, is that a new one on you? Because that's a new one on me.
Let's see. Yeah, she has a skin condition that I guess makes her skin splotchy or dark in places. I guess that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Ahmad mocks her skin condition and accuses her of engaging in witchcraft, adding she does dark magic and is never satisfied.
Sounds like the bacon satisfied her.
Yeah, okay. Ahmad was found guilty of assault by beating and criminal damage. He will be sentenced at a later date. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, guys, don't beat your ex-wife because she's a bacon basher. That's not a good reason. Find a better reason. I mean, don't beat your ex-wife.
This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Is this? Yeah, this is okay. Woman's false rape claim led to man's death.
Beautiful.
The false report of a brutal sexual assault set off a bizarre chain of events that ended last week with the self-defense killing of a Florida man. The fatal set of circumstances began when Brittany Story, a 30-year-old mother of 5, last month contacted police to report that she had been sexually assaulted in her apartment in Largo, a town outside Tampa. Sori, pictured right, I'll put the link in the chat in a minute, alleged that a Hispanic man forced his way into her residence and, quote, battered her and vaginally penetrated her with a broken broom handle and a box cutter. She repeated this claim when later re-interviewed by detectives. At the time of the purported attack, Sori and her husband, Gerald, 25, were living in the Largo home and were behind on the rent, which eventually precipitated an eviction action. According to her Facebook page, Sori is the mother of 6 children. Okay. In late March, Sori's husband was arrested for allegedly shoving her to the ground during an argument in their apartment. The dispute, cops reported, was due to infidelity allegations. During the altercation, Gerald allegedly menaced his wife with a Glock handgun, which was later seized by police. Okay, I don't know where this is going. At the time of the March 24th incident, police noted, Sori was 6 weeks pregnant. Okay. Gerald was busted for aggravated assault on a pregnant victim, a felony that was later dropped after Sori told prosecutors she did not want the felony case pursued. Okay. After making the sexual assault claim in April, Sori and her husband moved out of the Largo apartment, but allowed a male friend, Timothy Hignite, 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 to stay there. In an April 20th Facebook post, Sori informed followers that she was raising money for the Florida Council Against Sexual Violence. That post, however, was deleted today from Sori's page shortly after a smoking gun reporter sent her a text message and left a voicemail on her cell phone. What? Where is this going? Okay, as detailed in a court filing, Hignite, 38, was in the Largo residence on May 10th when a male neighbor, Michael Peterson, 60, showed up at the apartment to confront Sori and her husband over money issues. Peterson, who had loaned Sori money, began beating on the front door, apparently unaware that the couple had moved out. With Peterson banging on the front door, Hignite called Sori to report the disturbance. Sori responded by telling her friend that, quote, the person knocking at the door sounded like the male that sexually battered her.
Oh, Jesus.
Hignite then exited the apartment and attempted to, quote, take a photograph of the male subject to give to police. At that point, Peterson attacked Hignite, cops say. During the ensuing confrontation, quote, the friend killed the neighbor in self-defense, according to court records. Hignite, police report, stabbed Peterson to death. EMS dispatch audio indicates that an ambulance was sent to the Largo home around 10:23 p.m. to handle a trauma call. It was only after her neighbor's death that Sori admitted to police that she, quote, fabricated the entire report of sexual battery and that it never happened, unquote.
What a cunt.
Sori was arrested Friday afternoon on a single misdemeanor count of falsely reporting a crime. Seen in the mugshot at left, she was released from the county jail late last night after posting a $150 bond.
That's all she gets for this?
Yep. Let's see. Do they say anything else about the guy? No, they don't say anything else about what happens with the guy who said he acted in self-defense, etc. But I'll put the link in the chat. I didn't know where that was going, but that's even worse than I could have imagined, I think.
Yeah, that's worse than anything I would have thought of.
All right.
Angry Illinoisan says lock her up for murder. I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah.
Darius says, guys, what?
Did we miss something?
I don't know.
Well, we are guys, if you're just making a observation. But as we've said before, if we've missed something in the chat, you guys telling us that we missed something in the chat doesn't help. So just repost it or something if that is the case in this. I don't know if it is or not. Moving on. Which one do I want to do here? Oh, how about this one? This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. And this is from the TC Palm. Off the beat. Sex acts while driving in Fort Pierce? ? Okay. Oh, is that the person who was doing the sex acts? Oh, God. It looks like Don Rickles went on a crash diet and then turned female.
Ew.
Don't you hate it when you're driving while getting sexual favors from your passenger and then a deputy tries to pull you over? Something like that played out about 11:45 p.m. on May 14th in St. Lucie County, according to an arrest affidavit. St. Lucie County Sheriff's deputies reported a Ford pickup ran a red light at Orange Avenue and South 25th Street. A detective activated the lights of his vehicle at another intersection. The Ford continued, ultimately stopping on South 23rd Street. Deputies said the passenger, identified as Rhonda Koppenhofer, 55, had a full bottle of Bud Light between her legs and a crack pipe at her feet. Investigators also reported finding 3 cracked cocaine rocks. Koppenhofer denied the crack pipe and crack rocks were hers, although she later said she bought the crack.
Really?
Okay, so I'm going to put the link in the chat. You guys can take a look at the offender, as it were. And yeah, just imagine in your mind's eye getting a sex act from her while she's been smoking crack in your moving truck.
Oh, there's something. We've been linked something about the Restorative Practice Center.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll click on that. Let's see. As long as this isn't okay. Restorative. Oh, at the center of restorative culture. Yeah, it's a conflict resolution. Restorative practices is a philosophy, not a curriculum, that focuses on building positive relationships and providing opportunities for community members to take responsibility for their behavior while remaining connected to the community. It is a process where people who have caused harm acknowledge wrongdoing, take responsibility, repair harm to the extent possible for those whom they have caused harm, and are welcomed back into the community. This, in effect, fosters a culture that elevates dialogue and values relationships.
Does it?
Yeah, unless, of course, you're a murderer or a rapist or something, but we don't talk about those instances.
Wasn't this that's the place where the kid was taping himself having sex with people, right?
Yeah. The pictures on this indicate that this goes for people of all ages. So I'm not talking about just like criminals necessarily, but oh yes, restorative practices, surprisingly enough, are rooted in social justice, directly disrupting the school-to-prison pipeline. The school-to-prison pipeline is a metaphor, used to describe the increasing patterns of contact that students have with the juvenile and adult criminal justice system as a result of the practices implemented by educational institutions. Yes, because when the police come to you, it's the school's fault. It's not your fault. It's not perhaps the parents' fault. It's the school's fault. Anyway, side note, I've done several videos on the school-to-prison pipeline before. Let's talk about cauliflower as our last story.
Oh, God, yeah.
All right, so this one comes from Pink Hollow, the driving ape man. The Toronto Sun headlines it this way: Woke level 10. AOC claims cauliflower are colonizers.
Yep.
Oh boy. Wildly woke New York Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is now claiming cauliflower should be uprooted from community gardens because it's colonial. AOC recently took to Instagram to dig up racism in the Big Apple's community gardens, which she believes are core to her proposed Green New Deal. Cauliflower is apparently the Ku Klux Klan of the vegetable world. Quote, what I love too is growing plants that are actually familiar to the community. It's so important, AOC mused. Quote, a core component of the Green New Deal is having all of these projects make sense in a cultural context. And it's an area that we get the most pushback on because people say, why do you need to do that? That's too hard. But when you really think about it, when someone says that it's too hard to do a green space that grows yucca instead of, I don't know, cauliflower or something, what you're doing is you're taking a colonial approach to environmentalism.
Yep.
That's an unquote. What's important, and this is the article talking now, what's important is that people of color are able to grow foods familiar to them in the community gardens, but it's that cauliflower thing causing racialized communities to turn their backs on the environmental movement. And that's why a lot of communities of color get resistant to certain environmentalist movements because they come with the colonial lens on them, she opined. Or was that a quote? I can't tell. The guy closes his quote on the one thing and then leaves the rest of it not quoted. So I'm not quite sure if she said that. I don't have it in front of me.
I'm pretty sure that is a direct quote.
Okay. So yeah, the author forgot to put more quotation marks there. Let's see. Okay. So the New Yorker has been outspoken on climate change and just about everything else. Apparently, she's gaslighting cauliflower because it's European in origin, becoming popular in the New World in the 17th century. Oddly, the Swiss chard, spinach, and collard greens AOC claims to love don't get the colonizer label. All three are foreign to the U.S. Well, there you go.
Colonized cauliflower. This woman is a fucking idiot. And I said this in my response to this over there. The more I hear this woman talk, the more I am just absolutely convinced she gets talking points and she has no idea what the hell they mean. And so she ends up, look guys, whether you think her causes are just or not, she ends up making them look fucking retarded because she's an idiot. Like that, they just don't like community gardens. Don't do well because cauliflower, y'all. I had cauliflower once and it was really bad and I didn't like it. By the way, AOC, there's reasons some plants aren't grown in some places, and it's not white supremacy or any of that shit. It's because they can't. Okay. Are you still here?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys just got really quiet, and I never know if that means that I'm really quiet or not. You can't just plant any old thing in any old garden. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. I mean, temperatures change, and you can't grow the same things in, say, a desert that you can grow in New York City in a tiny little communal garden. This one's a fucking moron.
What I'm waiting for is the cauliflower farmer lobby to take exception of that and issue a statement.
I hope that people pull a Dan Quayle and just start all mailing her cauliflower.
Like that lady with the playing cards and nurses.
Oh, yeah. So for those of you too young to remember the potato thing, Dan Quayle misspelled potato.
Yep.
And so, yeah, potato just became his thing for the rest of his time in office. People would send him to his office by the truckload.
Oh, man. Oh, if only we could have a vice president that made such gaffes. Oh, hi, Joe.
Man. But no, man, nothing ever happened under the Obama administration. We lost Satsu. I hope everything's okay over there.
He's probably off cooking something.
Yeah. So that was going to bring us to the end of the, what's it called? MSS News Time, which brings us on to YouTube time. God, my fucking brain.
Yeah, YouTube time.
Darkshade, thank you. Sargon calls her model a modern. How do I say that? Lysenquist? Lysenquist?
Lysenquist? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
It might be somebody's name, but I don't know. I don't have a reference.
Yeah. But yeah, she's a fucking moron. Welcome back, Satsu.
Hello.
What happened?
Okay.
I went to the bathroom and then I came back and my computer was freaking out. So I had to exit it out and open it back up.
Hey.
Damn, what you do in that bathroom, huh?
Oh, Jesus.
Made your fucking electronics go bad? I'm not judging.
Thanos snap in there.
You need to chew your food a bit more thoroughly, Satsu.
Oh, shit. Lay off the cauliflower.
It's colonizing your stomach.
Cauliflower is disgusting.
It is, I agree. But that's not why you don't grow it in a community garden, because they want yucca instead.
Yucca. Yucca.
Satsu, it's YouTube time. What'd you do today?
I did some editing. The video, the buffalo chicken lasagna, put some pictures up of it so people can see it. And I was editing the video a bit today, but I didn't get to finish it because Squishy was home. So we watched a movie and hung out, but it should be up tomorrow, guys.
I keep forgetting to put a link to your fam 2 cents in chat or in the bottom. You want to throw it in chat?
Yeah, I'll toss it up.
Just throwing that out there, guys. Check out his cooking channel. Cringes at the mispronunciation. I'm a honky. I say yucca. I'm not going to say it like AOC did because I don't want to sound stupid. Scribbles, what'd you do today?
Well, I finally finished my video regarding the Chancellor of Schools of New York City and diversity initiatives. I had to do a lot of editing because I'll give it away. So there's a point in the video. So basically what I did was I read portions of the original article regarding the allegations against him and by the teachers who were let go or demoted.
Mhm.
But there's really nothing to say beyond that point because it's all allegation and, just accusations.
Right.
But what isn't allegation is the report from the comptroller on how much money the chancellor has spent on specific organizations to facilitate diversity training in the Department of Education. And fortunately, both of these organizations have YouTube channels. And fortunately, both of them have a few videos sort of outlining what their organizations believe and what they're meant to do. So I sort of thread together 2 videos from each organization, sort of outlining both their philosophy and their leaders, particularly. Now, the leader of the second group, the Disruptive Equity Education Project, or DEEP, she's interviewed by a local talk show or something. And at one point in the interview, when she's asked to describe or give examples of systems of oppression, she says that it is actually legal to fire people if they have hair like mine. And she's got, braided hair and everything. And at first I was like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And the guy asks her, is that a federal law? And she says, well, it's a law. I don't know if it's federal or state, but there's a law somewhere that says that, yes. And I was like, that sounds like such bullshit. And I made some jokes in my script about how that was like, she doesn't even know what law it is. She's just saying that, da, da, da. But then, before I actually made the video, I did some research. Turns out there is a case that's gone through 2 levels of courts right now, both local and appeals, where a woman was denied a job from a company because she had dreadlocks. And the company's statement essentially was that the dreadlocks violated their dress code and that they needed her to change her hairstyle. So she sued this company on the basis of racial discrimination because of her dreadlocks. And so the lower court dismissed the case on the grounds that dreadlocks are not an immutable aspect of race. They are a hairstyle. It's not like skin color or perhaps, place of origin or something like that. So she took it up to the appeals court, the 11th Circuit, and they agreed with the lower court and said, yeah, you can change your hairstyle alone, because they had to look at it as, because an appeals court is a court of law, not a court of fact. And so the law, what does the law say about hairstyles writ large? Does a hairstyle, is that inherently attached to a particular race? And the answer is no. So the court said, since it's not an aspect of race in an immutable way, it doesn't count as a discrimination on race under the EEOC. Now, this is only relevant, and so I had to make a large correction to my video because I was like, oh, because a whole bunch of jokes after that were based on the fact that she made up a law just to prove her point. There isn't a law per se, it's just that that does not violate civil rights law. But the thing is that she made this point about this law as a response to her telling her interviewers, well, there are lived experiences of mine that have turned into systems of oppression. And they're like, oh, like what? You know what her preceding example to this case was that showed the leading one to the other, that getting fired or getting denied a job because of your hairstyle comes from something that she's experienced?
No.
It was that people touch her hair without her permission.
Oh, fuck off.
And I'm like, okay, wait. And so I said, okay, even accepting that story, and she says it happens daily. Okay, she says daily people just without prompting just touch her hair, grab her hair or something. I'm like, okay, so you're saying that people's uncontrollable tendency to want to touch your hair thus leads to companies firing people because of their hair?
Yes.
Okay. Whether or not, even if the court case is true, even if your story is true, these things.
Well, what confuses me is she said that.
Hello.
Well, didn't she say that it was legal to fire people for their hair, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And they said, okay. Well, they said, give us an example. And then she said, well, this person didn't get the job because of her hairstyle.
Yes.
Those aren't the same thing.
Well, right. No. So first she said they asked her for examples of oppressions against her, and she said she had lived experiences. She named off something about how you could get fired for your tone of voice if you're a black woman. She didn't give an example of that, but then she talked about and then she said, and then there's the one that happens to me every day is people touch my hair, and there's actually a law that says you can get fired for having hair like mine. And again, there's not actually a law that says you can get fired for like a federal law that says if you have dreadlocks, you can be fired from your job. It's just that being fired for your hairstyle, not specifically dreadlocks, because we're not talking about a case of fact now, we're talking about a case of law. Hairstyle does not qualify as an aspect of race. So anyway, that's just one example of a whole slew of nonsense that both she and the guy who runs the other company, the company that's getting $775,000, the first one that I profiled in that video, I found a video where the guy gives a talk a few years ago where he breaks down what his process is. The very same thing that they're teaching, this courageous conversations process. He breaks down how that works. I won't spoil it for you, but that guy is like a less interesting Anthony Robbins, the way he gives his presentation and how he constructs what having a courageous conversation is absolutely blows my mind. But anyway, that's just me sort of promoting my video. It's out there. It's a little longer than even some of my usual videos because there was a lot to unpack in a couple of those things, but I hope people find it interesting.
All righty. It leads it on to me, which I just did my monkey in the morning, a very low energy one. I didn't have a hangover. I was just blah yesterday. I don't know. I was off kilter. That's why I don't drink, y'all. I was just off kilter. So yeah, I did that. It's up on the channel. You can watch it. Which leads us on to fucketry time. Satsu, what you got?
I don't think I engaged with any fucketry today, but I had some I had some hot takes on Twitter because you know me, I'm the hot take guy. One of the posts I put up says, you'll be hard pressed to find a women's rights activist that does not ignore the voices of women. And I said, isn't that kind of funny? Every women's rights activist I've ever spoken to has actively dismissed the views of women who don't agree with them. And that's no joke. Like every single one of them. I don't think I've ever met a women's rights activist who had a problem with whatever a woman was saying who was on the opposition and actually heard them out and listened to their argument or engaged them at all. And the reason that I put up that post is because this dude was talking. He was basically talking about abortion, and he said it's very simple. You know, abortion laws are simple. If you don't have ovaries, you don't have an opinion. Naturally, he didn't have ovaries, but he was giving his opinion. But that's beside the point.
Now,
that's beside the point. But what he ended up saying is like down in the comments, he was responding to a whole bunch of dudes or people who disagreed. You know, just like fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, women know better. You just want to control women, like just a whole bunch of stuff. And then this one dude was like, this woman disagrees. And he was like, why don't you let her speak for herself? So the woman chimed in who he tagged. And then there was no response after that. He completely ignored her. And I'm just like, oh, okay. You literally asked for her to speak for herself. And she did. And you didn't respond to her at all. But there are plenty of responses on here that were either after or right down the line of all the other people who had something to say. But guess you didn't think that a woman was actually smart enough to do it. So he was, oh shit, she actually did speak for herself.
Damn so, women's.
Yeah. Outside of that, there was the Overwatch thing where all the Overwatch characters got new costumes. You guys are familiar with Overwatch, right?
I know what it is. Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the one character, May or whatever, she's a little bit on the thicker side, but she ain't fat. She's just a thick girl. And somebody took her picture and said, this is her normal or her original, and this is her edited if she actually had organs inside of her. And they just made her fatter, basically. And a whole bunch of people, like, this shit backfired heavily. A whole bunch of people jumped down this person's throat, like, what the fuck do you mean? Because he was saying that her body shape is, it's unrealistic. Like, nobody looks like that, and we need other representation. I'm like, are you serious? She thick as fuck. Like, what do you mean? But yeah, so one of his responses was, all the replies and critiques to this thread are 100% valid. Mm. Except for the gamer dudes being weird about me having a little more fat. And I'm just like, wow. You backtrack on that really very quickly. And so far, this whole feed is just full of people like, fuck you, dude. Like, you tried to be virtuous and you failed. Even people who are like, there was this one person who was like, I am an SJW, like an actual living, breathing SJW. And I'm not even buying this bullshit. And I'm just like, okay, that was a fail. Good job. But yeah, that is the extent of my fucketry today.
All right, Scribbles.
So let me find it real quick here. I got a couple. One was this post, and this turns into a gigantic thread this guy posted, but really the first one is kind of all I needed after reading the first couple posts in it. This is from someone named Hansi Lo Wang, who is an NPR national correspondent. Okay. And this is what he says. The citizenship question the Trump administration wants on the 2020 census is unprecedented. Yes, past U.S. censuses have included citizenship questions, but never before has it directly asked for the citizenship status of every person living in every household. And I said, so it's an unprecedented precedent.
Yes.
Got it. But then I went on, but so what? It's something like 70 years after a census collection has taken place that any personal details could be released to other federal agencies. So ICE isn't kicking in doors if you check not a citizen. Why is this a controversy? I still haven't quite gotten an answer to that one. I mean, I didn't expect to get one from him, but just in general, it's like, okay, you get now it should be noted that actually lying on the census is a crime.
Yep.
But, I don't know how often that actually ends up being investigated and or prosecuted. But regardless of the point, if you do honestly answer on the census, I am not a citizen, nothing happens. The closest this guy could say about there being a threat is if an entire, personal information isn't released for 70 some odd years or something, but information like geographic statistics could be released earlier than that. So like your neighborhood or the county that you're in or something, if there were lots of people on a demographic side that said, I am not a citizen, then ICE would have a target.
Oh, no.
And it's like, yeah, I'm sure the census is the first place that ICE goes for information on where to target their activities. But yeah, I still don't quite understand why this, but they are, I've read a few stories on this where people who are in the country illegally or are worried about such things being mistaken for have essentially been fear-mongered into thinking that the citizenship question is going to get them targeted by ICE. And I don't know what to tell you about that one.
As far as the fear-mongering thing goes, I was just talking about that on Facebook of people, because a lot of people are talking about the abortion stuff, obviously. But what I noticed is a lot of people who are sharing this on Facebook are saying, oh my God, ladies, be careful if you need to get an abortion or whatever, because you could go to jail now. Like they're gonna fucking arrest you. And I'm like, why are all the headlines that are talking about this literally telling women, like, women, tomorrow you could be like, if you need an abortion or you have a miscarriage, you're going to prison. And I'm just like, nobody is really specifying the fact that these laws can't be enforced. Like, they're completely ignoring that fact, and they're fear mongering. And literally, like, there are women on my page literally talking about, oh my God, this is so horrible. My girlfriend's having complications right now. What if she has a miscarriage? Just like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
The other one I had
works.
The other one I had was a story that Variety posted today. It's a video clip from a panel at, I think, the Cannes Film Festival with Quentin Tarantino and Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. And the caption of this says, Quentin Tarantino snapped at a female reporter from the New York Times who asked why Margot Robbie wasn't given more to say or do in his latest film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And do you know what Tarantino said?
I reject your premise.
And he said, he leans over the microphone. He says, well, I just reject your hypothesis.
Yeah.
That is apparently snapping at a female reporter.
I saw this all over the internet today.
Yep.
Everybody talking about how he snapped. I'm like, did you even fucking watch it?
Yeah. He doesn't snap. He makes a very low tone, even keeled, disagreeing comment, leans back, and then Margot Robbie speaks for herself.
Yeah, he looks calm even when the way he says it. But they visibly, I saw this, a visibly annoyed, was when I saw a visibly annoyed Tarantino fired back at her. I'm like, fired back? What the?
Okay, well, first off, if I was being accused of being a sexist, I might be a little annoyed looking regardless.
Sure.
But Tarantino, to his credit, so to speak, he kind of has a pinched face. He always looks a little like he's pissed off. If you watch any interview with the guy or looked at him over the years, the way that his brow is shaped and the way that his face is structured, he kind of looks like he's always looking very intensely at you or always look a little sour. But that's beside the point. He didn't snap at anybody. He didn't say anything untoward. He said, I disagree with you in an even, polite tone, leaned back, and then Margot Robbie spoke for herself. I don't understand why Variety would categorize it that way or why everybody else is freaking out without actually watching the video. It just baffles me. But anyway.
Because narrative is king.
Yep.
Well, I even saw that that was one of mine on Breitbart. They're like, just before we went to air, he snapped at him like, did you fucking watch it? He didn't even, oh man, sorry. I was like, you're fucking retarded. Okay. I got to get into this. So I've been inundated with Ted Lieu nonsense all day. For some reason, he keeps popping up in my fucking feed. I do follow him. But when you follow people, you don't always see their tweet. I've seen all of his today, and they're annoying the shit out of me. Excuse me. And in one of them, he's talking about how the House was passing the DACA and TPS bill, or whatever bill it is that helps this. And so I click on the video that's linked, and I'll throw it into the chat here so y'all can watch it if you want to. And there's this chickie poo up there talking. What's her name? Debbie Marcel, I think. Powell, whatever. Debbie Powell here.
Mm-hmm.
And she says this. Thank you all for being here. She's talking very condescendingly to some DACA kids who are in the House chamber. This is your house. This is the people's house. You are not illegals. You are American. You're American in everything except paper. She actually said, you are American in everything except paper.
Mm.
And she goes on to say that there are no illegals. There are no aliens. There are no immigrants are not extraterrestrials. She actually says that. Immigrants are not extraterrestrials.
Oh, God.
Like, bitch, you're a member of the House of Representatives, and you don't know that alien does not necessarily mean something from outer space, you crazy bitch.
She must think that every time someone uses the phrase illegal alien, they're actually saying they're not human.
Yes. Well, remember
that's how she's interpreted this.
That is the narrative, that if you say somebody's an illegal alien, you're dehumanizing them.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're pointing out their criminal activity. The same as if you call somebody a thief, that you're saying they're a thief. But yeah. So anyway, you have this. This is a member of our house, man, and not extra. She actually fucking said that. Anyhow,
How old is she? Do you know by any chance?
I don't know. She looks like she's hit the wall already.
Oh, all right.
It's mid-30s, I'd guess. Well, in that thread, because she posted it twice, not just once, but twice, she posted the same video of herself saying the same thing. Somebody responded that, I'm sorry, I'm for open borders, but alien is just a word to describe non-citizens. And they actually linked the Merriam-Webster definition.
God forbid.
To which somebody else replies, technically, yes, but language and optics matter.
While technically true.
Like, but yes, satanic cultists, these are some downsy eggs. That's what's going on here. Jesus fuck. While technically, yes, but language and optics matter. Well, yes, language matters. That's why you point out that alien doesn't mean extraterrestrial, you stupid shit.
You know, it reminds me of, and I forget his name all of a sudden. I shouldn't, but who was the Libertarian candidate in 2016?
God. Oh, shit.
It starts with an L or something. I honestly forget. Somebody in the chat will say it. Anyway, there's a great interview. If I remember his name, you just have to look it up. It's a great interview where he is being asked about immigration policy, and the interviewer uses the phrase illegal immigrant. And the guy freaks out. He says, that is a racist, da, 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 da. And the reporter, to his credit, he completely keeps his cool. He says, well, if someone comes to the country illegally, then they are an illegal immigrant. Is that not true? I mean, that is an accurate description. And the guy's like, well, brr, 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 brr. It's one of those cringy / hilarious / career killing moments.
Yeah, it was Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson, that's what it was. Why did I think there was an L involved? Anyway, so yeah, Gary Johnson. Look up Gary Johnson immigration interview. You can probably find the clip. It is just right on cue with this thing here.
I remember that clip, and I told you guys before, I lean libertarian. I have voted libertarian before, and Gary Johnson has been a fixture in the libertarian community for a while. Mm-hmm. And I was watching. I'm like, okay, I don't agree with a lot of what he says now because he's gone nuts. But when I saw that one, I'm like, oh, dude,
yeah,
dude. When he messed up Aleppo, I don't really give people a problem for that. If you don't know the name of I know presidential candidates should, but I mean that's why you have teams, and that's what that to me was not near as big as getting upset over illegal alien. Thank you, Lamented Guide. Gary Johnson quote, where's Aleppo? Yeah.
Well, the thing about, so just as a side, the Gary Johnson interview about illegal immigration, Bernie Sanders abandoning his podium to the Black Lives Matter protesters.
Yes.
When I see presidential candidates either lose their cool over something ridiculous or back down when they shouldn't have to, all I do is think to myself, how would this person handle the pressures of the White House?
Right.
And some things like that. And I understand everybody's human, everybody has their moments, etc. But that's beside the point. If you're going for the highest office in the land, I have to be able to see that at least in the most mundane of circumstances, you seem like someone who is presidential and who can actually keep their cool under pressure, or not back down or capitulate just because somebody speaks louder than you do. Anyway, just an aside.
Now, we missed this at MSS News Time. It's the story I submitted. And if you want to hear me actually talk about it and read it, you're going to have to come to the other show, Monkey in the Morning. But I do want to read the headline because it's my newest favorite headline. Man allegedly hiding drugs in butt accidentally shoots himself in testicles. Is that not the greatest headline ever?
What the? Okay, how does one lead to the other?
I'm not sure. I will throw that link in chat for people who want to read that.
That's hilarious. I don't even know what that is. That's amazing.
Oh, Diesel Dave says, I see how you are, Monkey, skipping my super chat. I didn't realize I did, Dave. I am so sorry.
No, Monkey, how dare you?
Oh, thank you so much. No one wants to touch your nasty dreadlocks. Wow, that was a while ago. Dave, I am so sorry. One, You don't have to super chat me a second time for something like that. As long as you get my name in there, so the orange highlight pops up, I usually see it, and I don't know how, I never even saw that one, Dave. I am so sorry. You guys don't know how much I appreciate your generosity. I never do that on purpose. Unless it's Satsu and he doesn't donate to me. So,
damn.
But anyway, yeah. Man allegedly hiding drugs in butt. I love that, in butt. Oh God. Ted Lieu, he was whining about how Trump is challenging all of these subpoenas and stuff. And you know, it's funny to me because I am old enough to remember the Clinton scandals and such. Mm-hmm. Clinton always challenged everything. And it may have never gone up to the Supreme Court, but they always took it at least to the first court. And there's a reason presidents do this. It is not just because they're hiding stuff. They do this as a separation of powers thing. And back under Clinton, this is where I learned it. Back under Clinton, they're like, yes, he's doing this not because they necessarily don't want to give this information over. They're doing it because of the separation of powers between Congress and the president. There's supposed to be a separation. As much as they're check and balance, you also just can't have Congress running willy-nilly over the president or vice versa. So there's a reason they do that. And he's like, and Ted Lieu actually, this is actually going to make you a weaker president. Like, how? I mean, either he has to turn it over and he doesn't. If he goes to court and wins, it actually strengthens him. And if he goes to court and loses, then he's in the same position he's at right now, having to turn it over. Shut up, Ted. You're a moron. Too much sun, my friend. Diesel Dave, thank you. I expect it from Satsu. Satsu.
That's rude.
There you go. There's a thing going around. A guy kicked a cat.
I saw that, and that made me so pissed off. But I'm not quite sure what to do because there was nothing there to tell you where it came from. There was no sounds.
Well, that's one of those things where it's like the first time I saw it was Twitter, do your thing, and I hope they do. I hope they find that guy because fuck that guy. But on that same note, though, when you can kill your dog to have it buried with you, I mean, is kicking the cat so bad? I mean, I love my cats.
Wow.
When I saw that.
All right.
When I saw that, I wanted to punch my screen. But then you learn you can just kill a dog because you want it to die with you. We kind of have some weird morals in this country. Although you guys are all good because I didn't see anybody who thought it was okay to kill that dog.
No, the morals I question is not the woman who put that in her will. It's the doctor that did the deed.
Thank you, Diesel Dave. He says that's accurate. I love Dave. Dave's great. Where's he? Oh, and the other one, Ted Lieu. Talking to, and then I do have a Chris Cillizza one for you.
Oh my God.
I know. Ted Lieu talking about polls, Trump numbers. Trump's poll numbers.
Wow. God. Polls, damn. Trump numbers. That's amazing.
I knew it sounded wrong. That counts, right?
Yeah.
Trump's poll numbers dropping. I'm like, you guys, Democrats, okay, listen to me. When it comes to Trump, you're not allowed to bring up polls. You're not. 2016, you were all cheering and you knew he wasn't going to be president. And who you talking about now? So you might want to wait. Just wait and see what happens in 2020 instead of patting yourselves on the back for some stupid shit. Now, the other I didn't quote tweet this one, so I gotta go look in my tweets and reply. So Chris Cillizza put out an article today. We'll be just a couple minutes late on chat time, guys. I'm so sorry, but I do want to talk about this. He put out a article that was titled, what was the title of this? Barack Obama 2012 was better than Donald Trump 2020. Which
we haven't reached 2020 yet. But,
well, there's somebody who works for Donald or somehow, some Republican came out and said that Donald Trump is in better shape right now than Barack Obama was at this point in his presidency. And Chris is like, that is just not right. And he finishes it up by saying that the guy's entitled to his own opinion, but not his own facts, which the guy didn't give any facts. He just said, looking at the polls, we think he's in a better position. And so Chris immediately goes over to Gallup, and he's comparing the numbers between Trump and Obama. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Trump just in the middle of April, middle to end of April, early May, actually crossed higher by Gallup polls than Barack Obama was right now. That's just fact. But Chris says something else in there that just was like, that can't be true. I know that's not true. He says that Barack Obama spent his entire first term at or above 50% approval rating, job approval.
Oh, well, I don't know if that's true or not, but that would be a feat for any president.
It is absolutely not true.
Yeah.
I went to the source that Chris used and sent him a screenshot from it, which he still hasn't apparently paid attention to.
Of course not.
But where you can quite obviously see, now he was close to 50% the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But most of it was underneath the 50% bar. I'm like, Chris, you're not entitled to your own facts either.
Womp womp.
You can sit there and point out, yes, he has been above where Trump is. Trump has gotten close several times. There's literally only been this one time where Trump has gone over him. But you can't sit there and bitch that somebody is trying to use their own facts when you're using your own fucking facts. I mean, read your own fucking source, Chris. This man's an idiot. And I think what happened, is he doesn't understand how to use there's a Gallup poll thing where you can or a Gallup it's on the Gallup site where they do the Gallup polling and stuff, where you can actually compare the presidents.
Sure.
But unless you break it down very specifically, it gives you the final numbers.
The aggregate.
Well, like Obama finished somewhere like 56% or something like on his last day, on the last one that they did of him.
Okay.
So when you bring him up, that's what it says at the bottom of the screen for Barack Obama. But if you hover across the graph that they have up there, it'll give you the weekly numbers.
Right.
And so if you compare Trump to Obama, you're getting Trump right now with Obama at the end of his second term.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I just think the man's a fucking moron. But I did also want to point out in there, because I thought you would like this, Scribbles. He actually gives a shout out at the end to Harry Enton.
Of course he does. And what does he say about good old Harry?
This is a let's see. In May 2011, 39% of respondents said they would definitely not vote for Obama again. In May 2019, 54% said the same of Trump. Hat tip Harry Enton.
Oh,
because Terry,
Harry.
Or Harry.
Yeah. Harry's a real pro.
Harry's a dumbass. But yeah, I saw it. I'm like, look, you can't call somebody out for not using the right facts when you're not using the right fucking facts.
Good catch.
I fucking hate that guy. Anyhow, that's all I had. I wanted to get into more, but I was like, I don't really want to cause drama today. So I just stuck with the big guys. People I know aren't going to. I was hoping they'd answer me back. I really wish Stormy would answer. Stormy, do you have the receipts that say you gave Avenatti the right to use your name? Because if that's something that's pretty easy to prove. If he has actual power of attorney allowing him to sign,
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not. You take that to court and they'll drop the case now, Michael. Why do you have to go all through a jury? But yeah, so excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. Chat, now is your time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into the chat now. We will do our best to answer them. And please bear with me as I try reading because, man, my throat is fucked. I don't know what I did. I don't think I was yelling or anything the other night.
Maybe you were screaming in your sleep.
Well, it started after I had done 2 Monkey in the Mornings that were both over 5 hours long.
Yeah, you could strain yourself doing that.
I think I might have. Toasted says, is pro-life activism, I'm guessing, does pro-life activism have a better platform to hold because at least they know where life begins? Pro-choice activists don't know or think when life begins. I think you're simplifying that argument a bit much. I think pro-lifers had the upper hand until Alabama pulled this shit, because the last we saw on abortion was the life begins at birth argument coming out of fucking Virginia. And almost nobody agrees with that. But as far as who has the better argument like that, you're simplifying it a lot. You really are. Lords of Night, how are your cream-filled serpents? Mata, mine is wonderful. Thank you for asking.
I haven't had an eclair in quite a while.
Mata's nice, and I mentioned that I wish people would ask me how my dick is, and Mata does it in very nice ways.
I see.
That's Mata being a trooper and being a good friend and asking how my dick is. Because Satsu said nobody cares how my dick is. Ha! Again, Satsu, I win.
Whatever.
He also cares how your dick is if you want to tell.
It's at your back door. You should ask.
There you go. Lords of Night, ever read The Fewness of the Saved? No.
No idea what that is.
We are almost out of questions and we're only at 35.
No!
Oh my goodness.
Hurry up, guys.
Oh, wait. I got a question. Can I ask a question?
No.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I actually put this on Twitter, but nobody answered it. I said, I asked, do trans women have any say on abortion? And I didn't get an answer, but what do you guys think? You think they should?
Do they have the right to vote?
They're people, so yes.
Then they have a say, at least tangentially.
I've seen this come up in a couple of interesting ways. I saw one. I'm fairly certain it was a Poe, but it was this person arguing that it's from the perspective of a trans man arguing that his trans woman wife is telling him, trans woman wife is telling him that he can't have a say in abortion. I'm like, ooh. Ooh.
That is a fucking conundrum.
It's an interesting thought, but
holy shit.
The truth is, if you're smart enough to think, you're smart enough to have an opinion. The idea that you can't have an opinion unless you're a woman is fucking retarded. That's
well, it was just the reason I asked. The reason I asked is because I saw a vote. Somebody put up this post that said, "Are trans women women?" And they said, like if yes, share if yes, comment if yes, if no, delete your account. Like that's what it said.
Nice.
So I asked that person, like, well, if trans women are real women, full stop, no ifs, ands, or buts, do they have a say on abortion rights? Because I was told no ovaries, no opinion. So how does that work? And I was hoping to get an answer. But it's so weird because they're all in the same camp. Trans women are real women. We respect them. Don't you disrespect the trans woman by saying she's not real. She doesn't have any ovaries. Can she talk about abortion? It's like, what? And then they just get stuck on stupid. I like how easy it is to like just kind of choke them up on their own bullshit because none of it makes any sense. It's hilarious.
Sure. Okay, we've had some questions come in since then. Did you guys hear about Nevada being the latest state to push legislation through that gives their electoral votes to the national popular vote winner? I did. I saw that. And I think these idiots are making a mistake. I think we'll see that all go away if Trump wins the popular vote, especially if Trump wins the popular vote and would have lost the Electoral College if California didn't have that law.
Right.
Because California is the one that started all this, and they're getting all these much smaller states to join in with them. By the way, you smaller states, are you fucking retarded? But yeah, so I think that'll be funny as shit. And I think we'll see a quick reversal of that if that happens.
Oh, dude, the headlines are going to be hilarious.
Oh, they would be wonderful. They would be so tasty.
Trump has manipulated the sanctity of the new system we've built and somehow made it work in his favor.
Bodacious asks, elbows or feet? Of the two, I guess I'd go with feet, but neither really.
As far as like some kind of turn on?
I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, the best of two bad choices, I'll say feet.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like rubbing
Agreed.
a woman's feet because that usually leads to other things. But as far as like an actual turn on by itself, not really.
Lady Monkey got the cutest little feet you ever saw, but I rub them, but it's not because it's like, ooh, yeah.
All right.
How are Grand Monkey and Pumpkin? They're good. Actually, I didn't get to see Pumpkin yesterday. I was bad shape yesterday. I never went upstairs, but I went up today. And as soon as she saw me, she gave such a big smile. Even Lady Monkey went, "Oh my God, that's the biggest smile I've ever seen."
Oh.
She reached for me and went over and took her, and we played for about an hour.
Oh.
Why can't people just have? Oh wait, favorite soup.
Oh. Rice Krispies. Oh wait, no.
That's a fair answer.
I know, not for you. I like a really good New England clam chowder. It's not easy to make a good one. I've had some pretty poor ones that taste just like warmed up milk. Those are no good. But there's a way to make a good New England clam chowder, and those are good.
I like to take Campbell's chunky beef or vegetable stew, beef vegetable stew or mix soup. Cook that up, and then you put some rice in it to soak up the juice and eat that.
Yeah.
So that is best I can think of.
That's good stuff.
Cheeseburger soup is the best one that I've ever made. It's I saw a recipe for it online or whatever and tweaked it and made it my own, and I'm like, this is the best fucking soup I've ever had in my life. Maybe I'll make that on my channel one day. I haven't made it in a long time.
Yeah, but other than that, I would have to say ramen. Diesel Dave, thank you. I can break 3 boards with my feet, only 2 with my elbow. All right. So if you're looking for board breaking, you go with the feet, elbow.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
Why can't people just have a civil conversation on abortion instead of saying insulting or insane stuff and strawmanning arguments? Because unlike most of the conversations we have in politics, that one actually does have moral components. I mean, if you believe it's murder, how can you not get passionate about that?
Do you believe it's murder? Oh, sorry.
When the little one dies.
No.
Are you guys going to see live action Aladdin? Go to see it? Probably not, but I will definitely watch it on DVD, I'm sure.
No interest whatsoever.
The Cryptic, thank you. Eating rice is cultural appropriation. Stop it. Got it. It jumped on me. Lords of Night, what are your favorite ice cream flavors? We get asked that one a lot.
Mint chocolate chip.
Vanilla.
Salted caramel.
Uh-oh.
Just not from Dairy Queen.
You don't have a shake nearby, do you?
No, just not from Dairy Queen because they fuck that shit up.
Quinn asked us how our butts are. Mine is very nice, thank you.
I haven't shot my balls off yet.
That headline. Lords of the Night, what do you think of Apple removing the OK emoji with the next update? It's fucking retarded.
No, seriously, are they doing that? That's amazing.
I haven't seen that, but would you be surprised?
No, I wouldn't be.
Or trans men as they're no longer women. But a lot of times they say, no womb, no opinion. So unless they get scooped out, they still do. Cryptic, thank you so much. Eating lice isn't what?
Cultural appropriation.
I get that, but who eats lice?
The monkeys.
All right.
You're a monkey.
Okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
Green tea ice cream is the best. I've never had it. I'm not sure that I would. Have you read Discworld? Wheel of Time. If Time is what it says. Is that Wheel of Time?
Should be Wheel of Time, yeah.
Okay, Red Tail's Dream or Standing Still, Stay Silent. No.
No to all of those.
Satsu, you've been reading?
Satsu, do you read?
The chat.
Oh.
I read the chat every day.
Read chat every day.
Riley Jennis says everyone should have a say in abortion except for cis men. Why are cis men left out of this, but everyone left in? Well, because Riley claims to be a woman. That way he gets a vote. Got to leave out the cis men so that. The funny part is there's a large portion of people who are against abortion who are women. They're just not paying attention to them. They need cis men in there so they have somebody to point to and blame it on. Excuse me. Random says, would it be a good idea to remind people about the 7 Days to Die open server running tonight? Absolutely. There's the open server of 7 Days to Die. You can get the information from Satsu's Discord, or I think it's the only place you can get it. But yeah, go hang out with those guys. If you have the game, it's a lot of fun. You think dog and euthanasia co-burial things should be allowed as long as the tables are turned if the dog dies first? I mean, yeah, look, for this old lady, if she wanted to be buried with her dog and it died first, I'd be like, all right, time to get Kevorkian.
They're like, it was in the dog's will, and they bring up a contract with a paw print on it.
If she put something in there like, upon the occurrence of my death, please adopt my dog to blah, blah, blah. And also let the adoptive family know that upon the death of that dog, I would appreciate it if, and then just leave it at that. That's what I would have done if I had to do it at all.
Upon the death of the dog.
Yes, upon the death of the dog, bury it with me, please.
Not kill my dog.
Yes.
Mr. Moppy, what are your thoughts on the All in the Family Meet the Jeffersons reboot play?
Yeah, they're doing a live recreation of, I don't know if it's actually exact scripts from the period or just like making up stuff with the characters played by new actors. But when I saw that, I just tweeted out, why not just replay the classic episodes of the original shows to show people how TV used to take risks and how much things have changed?
They're going to censor them.
Oh yeah. It's going to be all watered down and bullshit. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they actually did an Archie Bunker like Archie Bunker today? No, it wouldn't. Nobody would allow that. The
thing is, this is life imitating art. And I'm sorry I talk about this show all the time. I watch it constantly. There's an episode of Married with Children where the women go watch the Jeffersons on tour.
No, Jefferson's on tour.
Yeah, and where they act out some of the episodes of the show on stage. Yeah, so life imitating art, guys. Satsu, what's your plan for Lords of the Night when Squishy goes into labor?
I think Lords of the Night takes a hiatus.
I haven't.
Squishy gonna have to wait.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna have my phone with me or whatever, because chances are I'm gonna be there. So I'll probably try to, whenever I can, obviously, pop my head in and let you guys know what's going on. Outside of that, periodically, as I get updates and stuff about it, I was going to be doing like streams on my phone to keep you guys posted. Because Squishy wants me to, not obviously not film the birth, but she wants it to be kind of a well-documented event. So. Yeah, so
you can show the kid in the future.
Exactly, like you guys will be you'll be in the loop around that time, but obviously I probably won't be able to make it as a just for the whole show until she is all together.
Cryptic, thank you. Not racist enough. Rice, lice. If you speak Angrish, I'm not gonna be racist for you, Cryptic. You're Asian. You can get away with it, not me. Where are we? Am I the only one watching this live stream in prison? Toasted, that actually would explain a lot.
You could be, but then we don't poll our viewers for their location of viewership.
Quinn the Cultist asks, can you snap your fingers in your mouth? I'm not going to try. I think I could.
Wait, is this a trick?
Is this like one of those things you can't lick your own elbow and then people are going to try it?
Well, if you do it, it hurts really bad because there's not enough room in there to actually snap your fingers without knocking against your teeth and hurting your fingers.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to try it when we're off the air.
All right.
I'm not doing it here where you guys can prove I'm stupid.
Yeah, you're going to end up hurting yourself. That's all.
You don't know that.
Okay.
I have a big mouth.
Yeah, you do.
I have big fingers though too. That's why I was popular in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's faithless. And Lords of the Night, pigeon pie or rat rigatoni?
Jesus Christ, rat rigatoni.
No, neither. I'm good.
None, thanks.
I'm gonna eat ramen instead.
As long as they're well seasoned.
Well seasoned rat.
Look, as long as they're well seasoned.
What do we have going on here? Lords of the Night, have you guys read? Oh, you got lots of reading questions here, and I'm gonna tell you probably no. But I will ask the question. Lords of the Night, have you guys read Mina Sundberg's A Red Tail's Dream or Stand Still, Stay Silent?
Nope.
She's by far the best webcomic artist author, in my opinion. I have not.
Nope.
I can understand why people take the pro-life. Why pro-life people take abortion seriously, but why do pro-abortion care so much? Because for them, they're talking about a woman's body and the right to private medical care. I get why both sides are passionate. I do, but that's also why we'll never have an honest conversation about it. Scribe Light, have you heard that VTMB Vampire the
Masquerade Bloodlines?
Yeah, to announce the Trudor? Is that how you say it?
Toreador. Yeah, I saw the promo for it, and I mean they're just these little animated, little sort of summaries of like what a Toreador is or something. I saw it. I still want to see some gameplay. I want to see character creation. I want to see some evidence of what the thing is going to operate like. I did hear the redone intro theme music because they got the guy who did the theme music from the original game to do an updated version of the score. And I really like his updated version of the theme. It's great. It really brings back my memories of playing that game and the mood and everything while still being different enough to make it new. But that is not the game. So, yeah, they can do little animated intros for all the clans, but if the structure of the game is you're not actually playing a member of any of the clans, but you're playing effectively a thin blood caitiff who just ends up becoming a junior member of a clan on the periphery. I don't like that setup. I don't like the fact that they're not going to make it clan specific or that you're not playing a member of a clan. So I still want to see some gameplay though to convince me that it's not going to be a complete shit show.
Have you heard about the McDonald's embassy in Austria or Poland? Nope.
No. McDonald's embassy? I didn't know that McDonald's was a nation state.
Favorite salad, just a chef salad is
Caesar. I like a good Caesar salad or a good chef salad, yeah.
So you like salads?
I do like salads. Caesar's fine. I don't think I've ever had a salad that I'd like. Was like, I don't like that.
For one of our Christmas parties, I think this was actually for one of my companies that I worked for. They took us somewhere and they gave us this really weird looking salad, but it had this raspberry vinaigrette they served it with. Oh, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I get that without buying it here? Because I would never eat at that place if my company didn't pay for it, because you like need to sell your house for that shit.
I actually had a salad with a raspberry. It was like a walnut, and it had like walnuts and strawberries and all kinds of weird shit in it. And yeah, it was fucking delicious.
Let's see, where are we here? No. Already did that. There's the McDonald's. Okay. Ranting Monkey, do you like modern pop music? No. It's at least most of what I've heard. It's all too samey and too poppy, I guess is the word. It's silliness. It's not music. Stop it. That's not music. Go back, try again. What do you think of the new All in the Family going on now, doing a script from 1973 and doing it live? Is there an All in the Family going on right now?
No, I think they're asking like hypothetically.
Oh, I think they'd get shut down.
Yeah, if they actually took one. I mean, if they pick the most tame script, I suppose they get away with it. But if they actually like did in one of the more well-known episodes, yeah, they'd probably be taken off the air or boycotted into oblivion.
Oh, what they should do is one with Archie and George where they're giving each other a bunch of shit back and forth.
Oh, there you go.
So, I mean,
you get a balanced view at least.
Yeah, that was part of what made that show great is Archie got his ass kicked most of the time.
Yeah.
The racist shit that he was.
He got told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best slasher movie. For me, it's still the original Nightmare on Elm Street, not the original Nightmare.
First Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's still just as far as like absolute creepiness and brutality, and still having a sense of taking place in the real world. I think it can't be beat in most cases.
See, for me, it's the brutality part that makes it like, I'm okay. Satsu, your favorite slasher flick?
I don't know. Like Scream had a real big impact on me when I was younger.
I love Scream, but that's one that actually scares me because that's some shit that could happen.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like it was so kind of grounded in reality where it was just, I don't know, for some reason that one stuck out a lot to me back then.
When I was little, Freddy scared the shit out of me. Today,
yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Real people who could kill me, now that shit'll fuck me up. Scream still gives me a nice scare when I watch it.
Freddy never scared me, weirdly enough. It was actually kind of hilarious to me. The shit that I saw in my head as a kid was way worse than Freddy. I'm just like, come into my nightmares. How dare you? Come on in, motherfucker, because you won't stay long.
Satsu game from the hospital. Yeah, he'll have his switch.
Oh, I'm gonna have my switch like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Do you think it was fair for the Academy to shun Paris Hilton after her incredible role in House of Wax?
Oh man, I was kind of excited for a while when they were remaking those old William Castle movies like House of Wax and House on Haunted Hill and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they just got worse and worse and worse over time. Like House on Haunted Hill with Jeffrey Rush and those guys, it wasn't great, but it was pretty creepy in places, especially when what's his name shows up as the doctor, the ghost of the doctor ghost. But yeah, as they continued pulling those things out, I just thought, oh, stop, guys, really stop it.
Lords of the Night, would you eat blood pie? No. We're American. We have food over here.
Yeah, we beat back the redcoats so we don't have to eat that shit.
That's right. Chicken or spaghetti? Spaghetti, man.
Spaghetti.
How about chicken with spaghetti?
Chicken spaghetti is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was about to say chicken spaghetti and cornbread.
Why not both?
Can any meat be good so long as it's seasoned well? Maybe.
Human flesh? No.
Well, a lot of meats, I mean, they do depend on their flavor, but the best meats are good with no seasoning.
Yeah.
But you can make a bad meat taste okay. You're not going to get rid of something like a gamey taste because of it. Unless you like there's less meat than seasoning. Does Grand Monkey like Curious George? I think so. I'm not sure how much she's watched it. We used to watch some Curious George when she was here. What else do we have here? Why are leftists saying that pro-lifers are pro-war and pro-death penalty, even though pro-life means anti-war and anti-death penalty? Because they're taking pro-life and applying it to everything instead of just the abortion debate as a way to be disingenuous. Why do you want to join the Klan so badly, Scribe?
What?
You were talking about your clans.
Oh, the vampire clans with a C. Yeah, I don't want to join the clans. I want to start a character that already is a member of one of the clans. That's the whole point of the whole Vampire the Masquerade setup for the most part.
They seem to have used the exact same script and set for the show. Seems they literally recreated it, including acting and no censor. Would you want to watch it knowing that? I would watch it as a novelty. I mean,
Yeah.
you can buy the entire season on DVD, right? Or the entire series.
Yeah. I think it's even out on Blu-ray at this point, maybe.
Yeah. I'm not one of those people that needs, like, when I'm going to watch Aladdin, it's not going to be for me. It's going to be for the kids. I would much rather throw in the original Aladdin, and not because Will Smith is no Robin Williams, but it's because I like the originals. Cryptic, thank you. Who wants free pudding pops? I don't know.
Is Bill Cosby handing them out?
Don't take those, man.
Don't take those.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show, and I would like to thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for your generosity. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it, even though Cryptic tried to make me racist.
Tried.
Tomorrow night, we will be over on 2 Cents Plus at the same Lords of the Night time, 9 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you come join us there. I'm pretty sure I'll be doing Monkey in the Morning around 2-ish. If not, just follow me on Twitter. In fact, you know what? I meant to mention this earlier. Follow all of us on Twitter. Links are below. If you don't follow both of these guys for their YouTube channels, follow those too. You should be. Great content over there. With that, Scribe, Satsu, thank you guys so much for joining me. Mm-hmm. Everyone, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Say bye, Satsu. I can't leave till he comes back and says bye.
Yeah.
So shit! When did I get muted?
I don't know.
I'm like, bye, guys, and then you said say bye, and I'm like, what the fuck? I am. Oh, bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.